Okay, just get it right to the... All right. Listen, in this new bourbon market, you are going to get access to these EHT Barrel Proofs at probably the best prices that you'll have ever tried to get them. So I want to be prepared and prepare you to know what price should I pay for these. Doesn't matter whether I get batch 14 or batch 13. You know, does batch matter compared to like stag batches that are also barrel proof? Well, let's try it and find out. Hi everyone, welcome to Highly Allocated Problems. My name is Jeff, and that's right, today we're talking about EHT Barrel Proof. EHT Barrel Proof is one of my favorite offerings from Buffalo Trace, other than probably Stag and BTAC, right? But BTAC is kind of the outlier, it's not super accessible. Stag and EHT kind of probably small batch and barrel proof are probably the ones that are most widely available. EHT single barrel, while good, not as widely available. I absolutely love barrel proof offerings from Buffalo Trace. Again, Stag, EHT Barrel Proof, BTAC, all barrel proof kind of offerings are fantastic for my profile. So naturally, I gravitate towards them, and I have a few of them. These happen to be just last year and this year's release so far. Last year, which was coined as batch 14.
Hey guys, Editing Jeff here. I just wanted to step in here real quick, and before people start in the comments already going, oh, well, it's actually batch 14, 15, 16 from 2025, and 2026 is batch 17. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about the batch number. We're worried about the proof points. The proof points are what matter. 127.2, 127.3, 127.4 are from the 2025 release. We're worried about 127.9 for 2026. That's it. Don't worry about the batch numbers. They really don't matter. That's all. I just wanted to clear that up. Back to the video.
Consists of these three bottles here, 127.2, 127.3, and 127.4 proof. This year, which we will call batch 15 for all intents and purposes, is 127.9 proof. Why is this important? When we look at historical offerings, EHT has always been one single proof. So for all the years other before 2025, it was a single proof, just like, so far, batch 15 is 127.9. That is how previously they did things. It was one single proof. 2024, which was batch 13, is 127.3 as well. So it's kind of hard to tell, kind of when you get it would determine. But we did 131.1 for batch 12, and then 129 for batch 11. It was all one single proof point. So I'm sure there were multiple batches, just all the same proof point. This was the first time they've separated them. So very, very interesting in terms of why they decided to do that. I don't know. Maybe a shortage in the barrels that they used. We'll probably never know. Buffalo Trace isn't super transparent about it. Regardless, you should be able to get yourself one of these very, very soon. You are going to see a lot, and I mean a lot, of these starting to come around. Based on the fact that we've been able to get Stag pretty consistently, and I know there's gonna be someone that's gonna be like, I've never even seen a Stag, and I'm sorry. This is for a majority of the market that gets the appropriate distribution. If your state is a control state, or you have a small store, or your store is all secondary, I'm really sorry. But for the most part, where we're talking where there's consistent distribution, you should be seeing quite a bit of EHT Barrel Proof, Stag. You're probably seeing more Weller than you've probably ever seen before. It's starting to come around. And this isn't necessarily a secondary market update, but I'm trying to get ahead of this. And people are gonna wonder, should I just be getting the EHT Barrel Proof that's available? Am I looking for a specific one? Let's find out. Let's just see, is there a big enough variance between these proof points, 127.2, 3, 4, and 0.9, that it makes a difference? Or should you just get the one you get? And what should we pay for it? So I'm going to have someone pour these into Black Glens for me, and we'll try them out, see if there's anything that stands out between them, and if there's one that's a favorite. Sit tight. All right, and through the magic of YouTube, we are now set up for this blind taste test to see if it makes a difference, whether you get one of the previous 3 batches in batch 14 in 2025, or whether you get batch 15 from 2026 so far, and if it makes a difference. So let's give it a sniff and just get our initial impressions. These are listed in order of proof. Has nothing to do with how they went into the glass. Someone has asked that before. It is just in the same order that they are presented before I poured these. It goes 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.9. So from smallest to greatest. It doesn't mean anything, folks. What's under here that matters. And I didn't pour it, so I have no idea. So let's give it a sniff and find out. Smells delicious. Fruity, it's like fruity, sweet, maybe a little confectioner sugar, some sweet oak. Smells delicious. A little less fruity here. So stronger fruit, lesser fruit. Still get that sweet vibe from it. That oak. Very, very similar nose, just not as strong on the fruit. Very much like this one. Very similar. Right away, I would say that these two are from the same one. I would suspect that these would be from batch 14. Very similar, just that fruit with a little bit of confectioner sugar, some oak. That's about it. Stronger fruit. This one's very similar to this one in terms of the level of fruit, that sweetness, oak, like I said, confectioner sugar. A lot stronger here compared to these two. So that means we have to get it on the palate and find out. Cheers. Terrific. There's like apples and cherries with a little bit of spice, vanilla, sweet oak. This is, it's quintessential what you want from an EHT Barrel Proof. Very, very good. Very, very good. I'm gonna take a second to clear my palate. Okay, palate clear. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Got some vanilla, like some apple fruit, cherry, vanilla, maybe like, you know, the vanilla and everything coming together gives you kind of just like this, like cherry tart kind of thing, consistent across the two so far. It's great. It's great. Time to clear the palate. All right, next. A hint of those flavors, not as intense. These two are very intense in the same flavor profile. You get a hint of that. You get the same kind of like sugary sweet, like I would say like a cherry, vanilla, and oak. Not as intense as these first two were. I've tried to do a really good job making sure my palate is clear. I'll notice that the finish is a lot more mild in this one than in these two. So that may be something that is just, you know, we'll see when I go on to the fourth one to see if it's a product of the bourbon or whether it's my palate. Let me clear the palate. All right, palate clear. Let's move on to the fourth one and give it a try. Nope, it's just definitely something with this particular one. Same as these first two. Bright fruit, cherry, vanilla, a little bit of caramel, some spice and sweet oak. Very similar to these, if not almost identical between these. I would say this one has a little bit more flavor pop, just like on the very front palate, but this is very, very similar. Very, very similar, like in terms of what the flavors that you get. It's a little bit more intense here, like just a little bit. And you know, again, but these you get the vanilla, you get almost like the full experience of maybe a little bit of like cherry tart with, you know, some vanilla like icing, and you just kind of get like cherry tart with a little bit of hint of vanilla inside there. This one, you get the flavors, but you don't necessarily get the intensity that you get with all these rests. And this is very similar to this one in terms of kind of like that cherry tart without the icing maybe. If I had to prefer one, it would be this one. These two would be a tie for second and third, and this would be just last in my opinion. So, you know, let me see which one it is. All right, last place is in 0.2. There it is. I had to try and get that to focus forever, so don't think I cut and pulled any shenanigans. I couldn't get that thing to friggin' focus. So I didn't pull any shenanigans. That was the 0.2 that was in this position, and it is in the last place for me. Okay? Next, in a tie for second place, third place, whatever you want to call it, they tied, is going to be 0.4 and 0.3. Like, this is like no shenanigans. 0.3 right there and 0.4 right there. And that means the one that I preferred just happened to be the higher proof at 0.9. So, will it really matter? No. No, it won't. I mean, I would say maybe not the 0.2 if you want to get the full flavor experience, but you've got a 75% chance here between the 0.3, 0.4, and 0.9 that you're gonna get a great one. They're all really good, just the flavor intensity is much higher in the 0.3, 0.4, and 0.9 for me. The 0.2 fell off quite a bit in terms of, you know, the nose is about the same, but the palate, it was a lot more muted than these others. These were very much more bright than this was, and this was the brightest. If I didn't have this, I would be extremely happy with either the 0.3 or 0.4. I wouldn't be upset about it. That's my opinion. So, now that we know, you are gonna be happy with probably any of the EHT Barrel Proofs that you can get, because it's unlikely you're gonna get a 0.2, because those are probably pretty long gone, to be honest. So you're probably gonna end up with a 0.3 or 0.4 anyways, or the 0.9. How much should you pay for it? Let's clean this up and talk about it. Okay, so as we all know, the secondary market is a little crazy right now because things are coming like in just droves to everywhere that is getting distribution. So it's really tough to tell. I still stand firm that even at $150, that's the max that I would pay for these. At $150, still great value. Now, MSRP is like $79.99 on these, I believe. If you can get it for that, obviously you're winning, but I would say your goal is to pay $125 or less for these. Is that realistic? It's yet to be seen. We need to see how much of the batch 15 gets released and how much of the batch 14 is still left over that, you know, maybe they either didn't distribute or people have been hoarding. We don't know. However, at $150, still worth it in my opinion. It's one of the best barrel proof other than Stag that you can get from Buffalo Trace Distillery and BTAC, I suppose. But BTAC comes around once a year and Stag and E.H. Taylor are distributed throughout the year. So, $150 is the max I would pay. Target to spend $125 or less, and I think you're gonna be extremely happy. It's gonna be hard to find them at $79.99 unless you get them at the distillery. There's still quite a bit of value seen in the H. Taylor Barrel Proof offering. So if you could pay less than $150, you're doing great. Target $125 or less, but who knows? I know at $150, it's good. It's gonna be good, and it's a good buy. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Don't forget, at 2,000 subscribers, we're giving away a Russell's Reserve 13 Batch 6, an Eagle Rare 12, a Stag 26A, or 25D to one lucky subscriber. At 2,000 subscribers, we will select a winner. Whoever enters that's a subscriber and wins. It's their choice. So subscribe today. I appreciate your support if you do subscribe, and I hope you appreciate the videos and content even more. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you later. See ya. Oh, hell.